Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm sitting here on Lima Charlie in the marina, just kind of contemplating my first day of work, back to work after the New Year holiday. Hope everybody had a good, safe, and enjoyable holiday period, and I am so glad it's all over with. Now we get back to normal life, which is working on boats and solving leaks, right? So you may recall from my last video that I had replaced cut a new hole and for the new vent fan, and replaced it with $180, too expensive to me, fan, and was hoping that that would solve all my leak problems. But as boats go, that was not the case. It still leaked after I replaced that. So that's the bad news, but it continues to offer me a challenge. And what's life like without a whole bunch of challenges? So the next project that I'm working on is, I've discovered that even after replacing the vent fan in the hole and spending $180 on that, I still have a water leak on the port side around where the windows are. So I suspect that this board, which goes all the way from the back of the companionway all the way forward, and this is there's one just like it on the other side, and this is what the hatch slides on. I just dropped my drill. But anyway, so what I need to do is take out these wooden bungs and access the brass screw that is underneath, take this off, reseal underneath it, and then cut some new bungs, put them back in there. After refinishing this piece of wood, then I can reinstall it, and maybe even do some work on the hatch itself, the hatch cover, while I'm at it. So the way that you remove these bungs is, first of all, you drill a hole and you feel it bottom out. You don't want to drill too far. Then you take a screw that is just, the threads are slightly bigger than the drill bit you used. Put the screw in there and very slowly turn it, and then you hope and pray that as it hits the screw head underneath, that it will pull the bung out. And it looks like, to a degree, that's actually what's happening here. And the entire board is lifting. There it comes. And there it is. Now I just have 6 or 7 left to do. So let me tell you what I'm dealing with now to start off the new year. So here, where you see the dark stained track, there goes a board on there. I think it's teak, and there's the same one on the other side. And what those do is they hold the hatch cover, which is this, holds it so that wind or movement or whatever doesn't raise the hatch up and hit somebody in the head, I guess, although it's pretty heavy. So what I have done is I have removed those boards, but now with these boards off, let me just show you what we have here. And of course, anytime you start a new project, which this isn't a new project, this is a continuing project, but now that I'm messing with this hatch cover, and I've taken the boards off, and the reason those boards are there, if I haven't already said so, is that they hold the hatch in place. So now that those boards are not there, I can take the hatch cover and move it up and down like that. And so what I am going to do is I am going to take this hatch off. I can't actually take it away from the boat because otherwise I'd be left with a gaping hole in the companionway where anything could get in, animals, rain, whatever. So I'm going to have to work on this hatch cover here. So now that we have removed all of the bungs and the hole plugs and all the screws, I've removed the pieces of wood, and we're working from home today. And this is what one of the pieces, the first piece that I've worked on, looks like after having sanded it, and it's still got some work to be done to fill some of these damaged areas. I'm going to mix up a batch of thickened epoxy and fill this, and then put a little piece of glass over it. And then once it's all finished, I'm going to totally fiberglass with fiberglass cloth and resin, fiberglass the bottom of this so that it can't absorb any more water once it's reinstalled. And then for the other three sides, we're going to put a wood preservative on those. But here you can see the difference and the contrast between finished and unfinished. And you can see what bad a shape this was in. And I don't know if this is what's causing my leaks or some of the leaks, but based on what I saw on the boat after removing these, I can believe that it was definitely leaking some way, somehow. So lots of work yet to be done, and then after this is all finished and I put the spar varnish on there, a few coats of spar varnish, then it'll be time to get back on the boat and prepare the surfaces, the fiberglass surfaces that these things mount to, take the hatch cover off and refinish that and paint that and get this all ready to put back together. But quite a few days of work left to go here. I'm going to refinish the top of it and paint it. Up front, forward of this hatch, where it slides over the roof of the cabin, I'm going to clean and paint underneath there as well. Then underneath the hatch cover, let me take you down below. This is kind of a unattractive old kind of a padded vinyl material here, and it's an eyesore, and it's something that I've been wanting to do something about ever since I got in the boat. So while I have the hatch cover able to take off the boat or take off its location, I'm going to replace this material at the same time. So that's the project that I'm facing right now, is replacing this material, refinishing and painting the top of this hatch cover, the area around the hatch cover, refinishing the wood that holds the hatch cover in place, and putting it all back together. And that's what we're that's what we're gonna do to start out the new year. The hatch cover is off and it's sitting over here. It weighs about 30 pounds, so the chances of it actually flying up in the wind without the boards holding it in place are not real good, but nonetheless need to have the boards in place. So I'll show you what it looks like with the hatch cover off and what kind of a mess accumulated under the front lip of the hatch. Quite a mess, huh? That's 40 years roughly of crap that has accumulated, and I get the privilege, honor of cleaning it all up. So let's get to it. All right, so here's a little before and after shot. Before, after. What do you think? All the way down the track. New crack discovered. Which brings up a thought, and I'll demonstrate for you how a sick boat owner, boat repair guy's mind works that has a little bit of mental issues going on. What if by cleaning this off, I've removed dirt and grime from areas on the boat that were not leaking before, but will leak now that I've cleaned it all out? See what I mean? Sick.
Sick, man, sick.
All right, so welcome to Sailboat Companionway Hatch Cover 101. Unfortunately, this is kind of the aftermath after things have been cleaned up and refinished. But earlier in the video, you saw the rails. These are the rails that go on each side of the hatch cover, and they hold it in place. You can see that I've refinished the wood with spar varnish, so it looks pretty good. I am now going to cut out the bungs that will cover the screws that are in here. If anybody ever has to replace any bungs and you need bung cutters, Harbor Freight is your place. They have 4 different sizes that are a very reasonable price, and they will cut out the bungs on a piece of wood. I'm actually going to use mahogany, so the bung will be a little bit of a deeper color than the last bungs were, and than what the wood is itself, and I think that contrast will look pretty good. But anyway, so here are the 2 rails that will go on each side. This is the faceplate that goes on the front of the hatch cover in a position much like this, and there are screw holes that hold it in place. When I took the faceplate off, this is the back of it, by the way, which I finished it with Permaseal, or whatever that wood, Preserva wood is the name of it. Put that on the back. Up here, this part will show, the bottom obviously will show. I've taken the latch mechanism off, and I'll reattach that obviously. But anyway, before, when I took this piece of wood off the front, they had used 3M 5200 or something that was really had a hard bond to it, and I actually thought I was going to end up breaking the wood or the fiberglass getting it off. I had to use a chisel and a hammer to get it off. But anyway, so I have that, got that off, refinished it, refinished the front of this, which was a big old mess, and now when I reattach this, I'm going to use the butyl tape around the the outer edges of the faceplate here, and then in the middle, I'm going to fill that with a Gorilla Glue patch and paste type stuff, which I don't have with me right now. But anyway, I refinished the face of that too. And then the last component of the whole operation is the fabric, which will lay on the inside of the hatch cover. So, and then lastly, I'll take these pieces off here and show you what the newly painted surface looks like. So that's what the newly painted surface looks like. This is the same color that I painted the bow of the boat, so everything on the deck is going to match color-wise. And I put a non-skid ingredient into the paint, which will really help when you're walking around up on the deck when you're out in the ocean. You got something to grip to. But anyway, I'm real pleased with the way that the refinished and refurbished hatch cover looks. And later we'll film this back on the boat with the wood rails in place and all that kind of stuff. So that's it for now. All right, so the deed is done. We have the faceplate back on. It is thoroughly sealed. We have butyl tape going in between the hatch and the faceplate, and that goes all the way around across the top and then across the bottom and up the sides. And then in the middle, we put a Gorilla seal and paste type stuff in the middle to help with the adhesion as well as the seal. And so we got a brand new paint job, we got a brand new refinished faceplate, we've got the latch mechanism back on, and we're ready to put this baby back on the boat. But first I want to show you the underneath side. Let's go ahead and turn it over. And here is the new fabric on here, and we ended up with some ripples on each side here, and I'm not sure exactly why, but it doesn't really matter because the hatch on the part of the boat covers to about the first 2 or 3 inches, so this isn't going to be that visible anyway. But again, if you had seen it before, you would understand why this looks 9,000% better. And then to hold it to the front here and to hold the faceplate on, we put a flat washer, a finishing washer, and then the screw in the middle. And before, they had not used a flat washer, and the bottom of the finishing washer cut right into the fabric. So it was pretty it was a pretty sloppy job, like so many other things on the boat. So we are now going to load this baby back in the car and take her down to the boat and put her on, and this is to be continued. All right. Welcome, boys and girls, to another completed project on Lima Charlie. You may recall earlier in the video where I took the rails off, which looked very bad. Some of the bungs were missing. There were extra holes underneath here that had to be filled and were probably largely responsible for the leaks. But I went ahead and took all of the covers off the wood because now the wood on Lima Charlie looks like it should, or at least the exterior wood does. I still have work to do on the interior, but this is what it's supposed to look like. So I took the rails off here, and these rails hold the hatch on, which the hatch has been totally redone as well. So took the rails off, refinished them, patched up underneath the rails, and re-drilled the holes and put the rails back on with new screws. And then I replaced the bungs, which are the wood round things that you see here that cover the screw heads, and then varnished over the whole thing. So this is the finished product here, and you'll notice that the bungs that I chose to put in here, it was intentional that they were lighter colored than the surrounding wood that they were embedded in. And like I said, I did that intentionally because I thought it looked good. So the wood itself is, as I understand it, a Philippine mahogany. And I used a, I don't know if it's an American mahogany or what, but anyway, it is a lighter color as it turns out. I tried to line up the grain of the bung with the grain of the surrounding wood that it's embedded in. And that mostly worked out okay. But isn't that beautiful how nice this wood looks here now that the rails are finished. This wood here has always looked really good and continues to. So I will continue, as the years go by, I will continue to refinish this and keep it fresh and nice. But I'm real pleased with it. As we redid the hatch itself, I took this off, if you'll recall from earlier in the video, and refinished that as well. So this has a new coat of spar varnish on it as well. Speaking of the wood, this is probably one of my soon-to-come projects, is to refinish the wood on the interior that comes all the way around here. So that will look just as good as it does on the outside. The wood strips here, which I think are more decorative than anything, they are in really good condition. They look real good. So I'll keep those polished up, but I don't think any work's going to have to be done. This is my next project, my very next project. You'll notice that I have painted the face of the settee over here with the new paint scheme. Got a little bit of cleanup to do, but anyway, that's that. And next project is to sand and put some kills on this poo-poo brown color over here, and then eventually after the kills dries, then I will put the put a semi-gloss white on there. So you've got the kind of tan color here, you'll have semi-gloss up here. Unfortunately, the panel project that covers this mess failed. So I'm still going to end up using those panels that I put together, but they're going to have to be supported by a different method, which I'm currently working on. But eventually we'll have the tan paint here, semi-gloss here, panels up here, brand new refinished and rebuilt galley. And so the port side of the boat here will be complete at that point. And then I'm going to have new cushions made for the settee on both sides. And I've already picked out the material that's going to be made out of. I'm not going to attempt to make those panels myself. because at least I have that much intelligence to know my limitations. What else? So that's pretty much it for the port side. Somewhere down the road in the summer months, when I know it's not going to rain, here in Southern California, it doesn't rain in the summer months. So when we get to that point, I'm going to take out the, these are called dead lights, we'll call them windows. But anyway, I'll be taking these out on both sides of the boat, and then putting a Lexan type material in here that is going to be transparent, and then we'll make a curtain of sorts to cover those transparent windows. So that's that, and I'll give you one last shot of the wood on the starboard side of the boat, and you'll see that that looks just as good as the port side did. So I'm very, very happy with the way this turned out. Something that I didn't mention, of course, I said that I refinished the hatch, and that's been newly painted. I do have a little chip there in the front that I'm going to have to fix up. But I also painted the section of the roof deck. Excuse me. I painted this with a non-skid type paint. So this paint is the same paint as this paint, only this paint has the sand or whatever they put in there to make it a non-skid type surface, so you don't slip and slide around up here. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea if you just look at this part of the boat here. You can kind of get an idea of what the rest of the boat and the deck will look like. So this is before, this is after, and I like the after much better. So that's it for now. I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments on what I've done here or what I'm planning to do, please put those in the comments below, and we will see you next video. Just keep me in the frame. And this goes on the front of the hatch cover. So if you can come around here, Kath, and shoot this.
Okay, I got nothing. It went out.
It's filming.
Okay.
And so anyway, this goes on the let me have the camera.
You're gonna have to edit the shit out of this, though.
Yeah, I am.